Hey everyone, it's been a hot second since we've put out a video, but that's because we decided to take a little bit of time to do us time. Brandon and I both went on a Alaskan cruise to Alaska, BC, and the Yukon. Obviously, we enjoyed it so much last year, we decided to go back again this year. And we even scouted out some locations in a 4Runner we rented up there to go get ready for potentially taking this rig up to Alaska next year. So there are now talks of a new adventure coming soon, and we are totally stoked for that to come. But I wanted to do another video. We are now 13 months into having the Canopy Camper. No complaints. However, when you start doing these type of builds on your truck, you're going to have things that come up, aka maintenance. And the maintenance things that we are going through now are repairs and upgrades to make sure the truck itself is happy with what it's carrying. We weighed the truck and it was empty, no water, no gear, empty fridge, 6,520 pounds. So we are definitely putting some weight on this guy. So I'm going to go through some of the hit list items we decided that now in month 13 that we are going to go and do to the truck to kind of allow what has settled as far as weight goes to be able to be repaired or upgraded to what it actually needs. So starting with the truck. The leafs are your number one support in the rear of the truck. It basically keeps all that weight up and comfortable while you're traveling. When it's too heavy, you definitely know it's struggling. So, our leafs are aka struggling. You can kind of see they're practically frowning. What we realized was we were under the impression, or I was under the impression, that our leafs were supporting 800 pounds stagnant, constant, and we realized I had put OEM heavies, Old Man Emu heavies on the truck, and that was a 600 pound constant. So we are definitely well over that requirement for the rear. So we are now going to take it in and get Archive Garage Extremes, which will allow for, I believe it's 1,000 plus, but I'll put the details below. So we're going to do the Archive Garage, and our friends at Sibby Built, Jason, is going to be helping with the install of that to make sure we can get the weight to support. Another thing we're going to do is my King shocks are about 4 years old. I believe they were installed May 2020. Don't quote me on that. And that means it is probably well over 4 years old. So it's time to go get the shocks rebuilt and potentially revalved. What the mechanics were asking were, can you hear squeaking? And the reason why they asked if it's squeaking is because your valving might be low. So if that or your valving might be the reason why it's squeaking, so you have to go take them in to get rebuilt. I'll be honest with you, everything in this truck squeaks now. So I can't tell you where the squeak comes from. And that's kind of what I told them. It squeaks and I don't know from where and why. I will say a lot of the squeaking happened after I got the car detailed for SEMA last October. And the reason for that is because I wanted to do a big scrub down on the suspension to take all the dirt and mud off so it'd be nice and shiny, and you know, you kind of rub away some of its lubrication, and so it started squeaking big time. So we are looking to go get those rebuilt. Not going to be cheap, I'm not going to lie. Suspension has definitely gotten a lot more expensive since 2020. I thought about rebuying that whole setup and just putting a new one on and then selling these to someone who wants to go and get them rebuilt, only because, one, there's downtime taking them off, sending them in to get done. Apparently Kings will go back to Kings, so yeah, the downtime is what we're worried about. But we're taking the month of October to go and take care and address all things that need to be done. It's basic maintenance. Since we are in the front suspension, I have SPC upper control arms. Now, those were put on back in 2020. They've never been an issue. I've never had issues with them. But I believe it's time for us to start thinking about some upgraded upper control arms. So I'm kind of going through the different brands, whether or not it's Uniball, whether or not, I don't know, everyone's talking about Heim joints, blah, blah, blah. So I am doing a little bit of homework to kind of figure out where we want to go with that. Uniballs, obviously exposed, you get some dirt, you need to maintain more often than not. We are out on dirt a lot, so there's a high chance maintenance requirements for that is going to be high. However, you know, if you have, I believe it was Dobinson that I was introduced to. The Dobinsons have a little boot on their joint, and the boot kind of covers to keep dust and dust out. Hence, dust equals less dirt and potentially less maintenance. I'm gonna say potentially less maintenance, but again, it really depends on where you are and what you're doing. So that was huge. We got an alignment done on the truck, and then I was told, hey, the reason why you feel hippity hoppity is because on your stock cam tabs, which are these guys right here, see how they kind of fold out? Somehow we realized that on the passenger side, I flattened out my cam tabs. So, yay for us, we get to go get new cam tabs. These are coming off, and we are going to re-weld new cam tabs on, and so that means stock ones are coming off or cut off, re-weld, and then we'll have new supported cam tabs. And again, that one is going to be done by Jason at Sibby Built. He's going to help take care of that when we take it in for leaves. And also too, one of the things that made us go, hey, you know what, something's not right, is because when I started turning, the alignment was definitely off because I started grabbing my fenders. So you can see the fenders are kind of coming a little undone with these big ass tires yanking on them in a turn, and I'm kind of chewing up my tires a little bit. So once I get the cam tabs repaired, Cam Tab Gussets on, we're going to do another alignment and then potentially rotate the tires, so I'll throw the scratched up ones into the back. But you gotta listen to your truck. That's the biggest thing. Listening to it will allow you to know, hey, something's up and you might want to address it as soon as possible. So we've kind of let some of these things that we needed to address I let them sit, and here I am going through a big repair list. So if there are things you're noticing on the truck after putting on some weight, I mean, we are putting on a lot of weight, so it's not a surprise that some of this is happening. One of the things that kind of came up was our battery box. The EcoFlow has been good. However, I feel with what we were doing, we're pulling a lot of power. all the accessories. We obviously have the Nespresso, the fridge, the air fryer, rice cooker. We're not being very electricity conscious, I guess, but that's only because we love what we love at home and we want it to be with us while we're traveling. So the EcoFlow is getting a little upgrade. We're not changing from the Delta 2 Max at the moment. We're going to stick with the Delta 2 Max. And we bought the 800 watt inverter EcoFlow, which will allow us to charge off of the battery. That way, while we're driving, it will stay 100% charged, so when we sit, it's ready to go. Our issue was we were starting to see the EcoFlow drop underneath 100, and then when we're sitting for 3 or 4 days, the use of all the electronics is really stacking up a little bit. So we're going to try the alternator charger to make sure we're at 100, and also too, when we're camping, if for some reason it drops lower than comfort level, turn the car back on and we'll get to where we need to be. With that being said, we are not yet adding an extra battery because right now the cost of an extra battery is about $999, and we don't have the space for it. We don't really want to add in a giant battery box, another one, so a second tower. So we're going to leave it as is and try the alternator. With that being said, we are also staying with XPLOR, and we're going to be trying some of their extra solar panels to see if that won't help boost some power for us because of our usage. Again, we are very heavy users, I'm not going to deny it, and we're just going to need more solar. So we will be trying either adding blocks on the front, XPLOR blocks, or we were going to throw a foldable, and if it all came down to it, we'll throw another panel, a CIGS panel, and basically have that one at campsites and just gather more power while we're out. So we're kind of trying to determine how we're going to add some more solar to this rig to make it more, to make more power to fulfill our needs. Okay, so that's battery box. Now, in the actual camper, we are 100% happy with our propane fireplace. The propane fireplace has 100% been a lifesaver. We have, to this day, only filled it one time. That little propane bottle, 11 pounds, King Flame, has been amazing. And like I said, we've only filled it one time, and it was only a half fill last New Year's when we went out. So in 1 year, we've only refilled it one time, and it's still running our fireplace to this day. But holy moly, that one tank, one fill, 13 months. I don't know how else to say it. Maybe we just don't run our heater like everybody else, or I've never logged the runtime. That's another thing maybe I should do in the next year, is to log runtime, but don't quote me on it. It's really hard to timer how long you use things while you're camping, but it's being used. So Newport Dickinson Heater, if you're going to invest in something, this is 100% something I'm going to say invest in. This cannot have been any better than any type of heater system I've done Heater Buddy, I've done the big one, the little stand. I have never tried a diesel heater though, so I cannot quote you on diesel heaters. But this guy, as far as dry heat and so on, absolutely wonderful. So quote me, I 100% recommend that one as an add to for your build. Okay, going forward, the bags, the AluCab bags. I know there's mixed reactions and comments and stuff about whether or not they're usable or not. I'm going to say right now those bags are still 100% very friendly usability because of the fact that you can just throw things right there and they are easy to grab, especially for a quick reach in. Toilet paper, 100% a must. When you gotta go, you gotta go. So it better not be digging through drawers looking for that. On the top ones, the little bags, I mean, we got our shower pouch, we got miscellaneous up there, there's an EpiPen, first aid kit, there are waters. I mean, that's everything we really need and an immediate reach and grab and go. So the bags, huge investment, great investment. They are pricey, but 100% worth it when it comes to getting stuff. Another great investment was our mesh. I will say I've gotten so many compliments about the mesh. And the reason for it is we can close them up for extra privacy on the inside, keep the bugs out. We have used it for bug camping. And it has been absolutely amazing. And we've closed all the windows, including the door. The door has also been used. I can say if I was to have to add this to my build list again, it would definitely be on that build list. Can't help it. It's the truth. All right. Another accessory was the shower cube. The shower cube has been used on every single trip, whether or not it's a changing room, it's a shower area. I have to say too, this was added on as one of our initial 5, and it will 100% stay on that initial 5 recommended, because the privacy you get from that shower cube is amazing for everything that you want to do. And I know a few people had asked, what do you guys use for the ground? Because the ground is dirt, and when you take a shower, dirt sticks to your feet, and all of a sudden you're not dirty anymore. This is a Amazon product. It's a spa bamboo floor. It folds in half, so it stores easily in the camper. We put it down on the ground, so when you are taking a shower, you're standing on this lovely thing rather than dirt. And hey, it says spa, so that means it's comfortable, right? That thing is at least 2 years old, because I've had it before I had this whole setup, and 100% recommend. Also too, we've used it in the back of the camper, so if it's raining or muddy outside, we step on that first and then climb in, take off our shoes, so we're not tracking in all that dirt. Our top 5 items was the AluCab Shadow On 270. It is still 100% the number 1 item I would say you have to add to an investment, whether or not it's a rooftop tent, a rack, a camper, a contour, whatever you're buying. This is a must. We have had multiple people at events. We open this up, it creates the shade, and everyone goes, wow, it got way cooler than it was when we were standing outside in direct sunlight. You can literally feel the temperature change and the sunburn potential when you step out from the sun and underneath the Shadow On. So that is number 1 of number 1. If you're going to add any accessory based off a budget, must do it. This GP Factor table has been a godsend. It too, I will say, you don't have to install it initially. We didn't install it until later. But now that it's here, it's definitely something we use a lot every single time. This is also too a nice prep area for when you're cooking and so on. Personally, I still don't cook here when it comes to like the bigger stove. If I use my Covea single burner, I will cook right here. But when it comes to like hamburgers and things that are greasy, I will not cook near the camper, because I do not want that smell in my camper for however long it's going to last. So great prep area. We do a lot of coffee service right here. We do a lot of small food, lunches, that type of stuff. The doors. There is normally the AluCab pockets that you can buy. I know a lot of people aren't really buying those a whole lot. Like, I rarely see them. If I was to have them, maybe I might use them in a different way. But they are big, deep pockets. So, honestly, a big, deep pocket is like a big, deep purse. You will be digging for days trying to find the one small thing that happens to be at the very bottom, and no one has time for that. GP Factor has made the Molly panels for it, so maybe that is a great consideration. If you want to mount Molly panels and have it all configured to your smaller packs, that's great. However, I have found the cheapest, best way of using this space without spending that much money is the Front Runner kitchen utensil kit. We've obviously added some of our stuff in here that are not part of the utensil kit. We did our own utensils. It just works for what you want to do. And you can customize whatever utensils you put in here based off of what you cook, what you use, and what you want to have with you everywhere you go. But as far as the 13-month walkthrough, we still love this camper. It is home away from home. Yes, we have a maintenance list going. It's going to cost a little bit, but it's something that needed to be done, and I should have either one addressed it prior to putting the camper on, or two, I should have thought about it as I was hearing noises and realizing something wasn't right. So again, basic maintenance. You can't harp on a product because it was the truck that needed it in order to support it. So got some basic maintenance to do. And then 4, we do have a few things that we want to change as far as our layout and space usage, and that is because it fits what our needs are, and that's why we're going to go back through and invest. So in the next month, September, October, we're going to start seeing a little bit of changes as far as this camper goes, for layout. It's the layout that we're going to reconfigure a little bit to match and give us more utilization, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But as far as power usage, like I said, we found a solution to help us with the power because of what we use, and then we're going to try and get some more solar going on the top. So more power to accommodate our needs. Hopefully this video kind of wasn't too much of me just blabbing. Maybe it kind of helped you for what you're thinking about your build and what you're ultimately deciding on adding as far as accessories for the camper. But I will say, so far to this particular moment in time, we are completely happy with it, and we're just modifying the house. I call it a little bit of redecorating and some maintenance. So redecorate, maintenance, 13 months in. We're still loving it, and we have Alaska coming up next year, so that means we might have some more maintenance again before that trip, and that will come when it happens. Feel free to leave some comments below if you have questions, and I'm going to stop rambling. Good luck with your camper builds. Hopefully some of these suggestions help, and then maybe we'll see you out on the road. Thank you, and take care. Bye.